but I'll take him. USA, USA.
Just slap a USA jersey, and Hex is like, I don't care where you're from. You're an American now.
Oh, my patriotism is blind and dumb. So, Temple of Anubis, you imagine we'll see Sombra here? I mean, she's been very popular today.
I'd be surprised if we didn't see a Sombra here, especially coming out from C9, where, I mean, we've seen Sombra be very effective just in general, and someone like Bishop does not really miss out on trends going on in general Overwatch. If we don't see a Sombra here, it's because he hasn't been happy with times where C9 has run it. So we might not see it on first, but if we didn't see it on second, I would be a little bit surprised, yes.
Yeah, the last time we saw Anubis was a really good one. Ended in a draw, actually. One of the more exciting draws I've seen in quite a while, with a lot of first-point defenses coming in. Hollywood Hammers, of course, will be on offense first, so not really a lot to gain by looking at what their roster is. Just messing around in spawn, very likely. But defensively, do you see anything interesting?
I don't see too much interesting here. I mean, I just want to see how Zephyr deals with Nesh, who, I gotta tell you, Hex, Nesh is probably feeling awfully smug right now.
Purple lady smug face. I mean, I see something. They're running triple tank here on defense. Yeah. I mean, Kaiser, of course, is great at both of the tanks. He's one of those, like, unicorn players, I call him, in tanks. So a lot of people are getting better at both Winston and Reinhardt. But as I mentioned earlier, Gods can play tank really, really well. Beautiful pick, though, from Nesh. That kills, this kills the triple tank. And being on a triple tank, that's bye.
That's why you have Reinhardt shield, so that does not happen. Wolf just pokes his head out the wrong way, and Nesh rips his head right off with a well-placed shot. And yeah, I mean, if you're gonna run triple tank and this happens, well,
you need Ana so bad in triple tank. Her healing is so important. It's one of the reasons we saw so many tanks is when Ana got introduced to the game and people figured out how good her healing output could be. But they do not give up first point. They're gonna get back in here and begin fighting again. Have to be a little bit careful. Fights going on all over the place as Gods does fall in the end. Snizzle is oddly enough on the 76. Not a hero we see him a lot on a ton, but since they're running a Widow, why not?
Well, I'm gonna say if C9 was planning a Sombra swap, it's probably gonna happen soon because this Dragon Blade will finish off the job, although that's kind of a win for C9. Yeah, so you see Wolf coming on the Sombra, but that's a big win from C9. The fact that Fisher felt the need the Dragon Blade there to bring this forward, sure, Hammers is still coming in with momentum. They have a Transcendence, but you know what would have been better here? A Dragon Blade.
You know, it'd be even better in a live Sombra. Yeah. Transcend comes in, they're still running this Widowmaker, which is great because he had ult, so he's seeing through these walls with that ultimate ability. Short for trying to bring it back. 1 or 2 kills on the defense sometimes is enough to solidify it. Snizzle now goes all in, doubles down, says, you've got me in your sights, I've got you in my sights. Takes down Short for in turn. This is taking too long, though.
It is taking too long. The one thing Snizzle knows really had in his sights was the sick beats of Lucio that were protecting the enemies he wanted to shoot. So I don't think that quite worked out in his favor, and C9, they will solidify here, Hex.
You an expert on sick beats?
I'm not really much of an expert on anything. I'm not even sure why I'm up here, Hex. Let's be real. I just wandered in one day.
Saying what we're all thinking. All right, Nesh gonna stay on this Widow as he's 5%. Well, never mind. He's decided to go against it because apparently whatever I say can't be true. It's just not how the world works. Wow, triple dome to Sombra on Shuriken's gonna be enough to send her out. Actually works out well for Sombra because she can just go heal and charge her ult. Speaking of which, EMP up, self-destruct up. Those can work really well together.
I mean, this is a push that is almost certainly doomed to fail here as Kaiser just says, yeah, it really is. Drops the hammer, knocks down 3, makes this earthquake corridor not a place you want to be.
Yeah, the hack quake combo. I mean, you drop the EMP there. There's nothing to stop the Earth Shatter, and that was a sad corridor push right there. Look at this. Oh, come on. Wolf is already at 75% again.
Well, when a man likes dropping EMPs, Hex, it just happens.
That doesn't seem fair. I mean, it is Hex. I guess Hex. It makes sense.
Okay, then. But yeah, I mean, he's using the health pack, the rest of his team is using it, and it's building up the EMP. He's going to have it for this next fight. And perhaps not. The fight is taking place right now in that sweet spot where he doesn't have it just yet. The problem is that Hammers died so quickly that now Wolf actually gets saved.
That's when this fight's over. And now, like, it's demoralizing for Hammers because they have to know now there's going to be EMP up. I still am trying to figure out, like, what do you do to counter this when there's EMP up for every single fight?
Realistically speaking, you need to run something where you can get an early pickoff and take the 6v5 where it's a little bit more winnable. If the other team has a full 6-up and lands a good EMP, you're almost certainly not going to win that fight. The odds that you actually have a clean fight on Anubis of all places, not going to happen. That's why you see the Sombra getting played. So we like talking about the idea of maybe running a Roadhog more often.
Yeah.
I actually would not be sad if Snizzle came out here on a Roadhog because that would give them the 6v5 opportunity that could let them deal with an EMP. But Fisher, he's going to take matters into his own hands. Nanoblade into the back, but he gets EMP'd, no longer can dash, and Kaiser drops the hammer to use that EMP combo once more.
I completely agree with the Roadhog. I might even run a Reaper with it too. You want to start running things that don't necessarily rely on abilities to do damage. Reaper, I mean, Wraithwalk is the only ability that he really uses anyway, so Reaper can get in there. We've seen how good Reaper can be on this last anyway, but I think most teams would tend to go with Roadhog. And I'll tell you why Roadhog would be extra good here is Sombra's always going to bail out, you know, later, see you later. You can hook her, just hook her.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of ways to deal with that. I mean, also you think back to old school LG Evil, even seeing a McCree at times. I mean, we've seen it work to deal with the Reinhardt where you flashbang over the top, blow up the Reinhardt immediately.
Yeah.
It could work.
Wolf down.
Yeah, they get the early pick on Wolf. That's what they needed. Now there's no threat of the EMP, even though Wolf was about to get it, and they have an opportunity to pile on. They need to get at least 2 kills off this before Wolf comes back in, or the EMP is going to ruin their day. Tactvisor comes out here from Nesh, but doesn't really get much, and now what do they have to worry about? That. Wolf over the top, drops the EMP, lights out, and Surefour, like any good tracer, willing to stalk people when the lights are out.
Yeah. Oh, man. I will highlight the play of Zephyr there. He was able to shut down that Tactvisor completely. I think he was at such an angle that Nesh didn't even know what was happening. Like, why aren't these things hitting them? Because that's how deceptive defense matrix can be. Rolf at 50%, so there's a small window that they can get in here without an EMP up.
There is a small window, but here's where I look at Kaiser. Kaiser's been getting the EMPs to set his Earth Shatters, but Kaiser is not a tank who necessarily needs that. He is a high-impact Reinhardt. We've seen his great plays in tournaments like Apex, and given that teams haven't had to deal with a whole lot of Reinhardt recently, I don't really think Hammers is going to be respecting it as much.
Nice stick. Has Kaiser ever hit an impactful Earth Shatter? Has that ever happened? One or two? I
mean, he's hit many impactful Earth Shatters. I mean, he impacts the ground and then the bodies get impacted after. It's quite the process.
They have to bail out under 2 minutes now, and they're still just running the same old, same old. Shaz will, a Nanoblade could do it for him. It's where they've had their most success, even thinking back to Numbani. The Nanoblade is what brought it back for him, but gonna have to go into EMP.
You know what does really well against Nanoblade? Earth Shatter.
Yeah.
So Kaiser right now holding on to it, doesn't want to throw it into the shield, under pressure, and Fisher backs out. It's a good back out, supports the back line, and opens up a 6v4. There's the Earth Shatter. We don't know how many, I think it knocked down 2 into the back line, so
maybe.
I'm not sure if it's enough. Hammers
very good for Hammers,
really well.
yeah. Only 1 kill. It's an important kill, though, because Ana is now out of the fight. Gods also gets the second support. All this damage is permanent. Those are 2 that you don't want to lose. Nesh trying to lock it out for his team. The remaining 4 will get up to that second tick. Cloud9's going to have to get back out here and stall. Zephyr does just that. So now it's pretty rough shape for them as they did lose both supports, but they're selling out enough that the supports can get back in here if they can stay alive.
And that's a big self-destruct here. That clears out the point, at least for a moment, buying C9 some room, but Hammers works around it pretty well. They just back up, use the pillars for cover, but they can't afford to suffer deaths. The fact that Fisher went down there, the Kaiser, actually hurts quite a bit. You don't have the dash reset snowballing that you need in a situation like this, and C9 is very carefully fighting their way back into this.
The supports got back into this fight, and for such a prolonged fight, they will not have another chance at this. This has to be it for Hammers, otherwise they're going to have to settle for 2 ticks.
By the way, we have a May in play now. Just because.
She used to be one of the best heroes to defend on this point before Sombra came about and kind of stole her glory.
So here's a test for Hammers. Can they even touch a point to force the potential of an overtime miracle? They're going to wall out the Diva, but where is it? It's Christopher coming into the back line. He touches the point, but he gives up his body and life to get on that point. It's already 2 kills here from C9, and Hammers not really left with a lot of options here, Hex, to make this one work.
No, desperation time. They're hoping for a miracle here. History teaches me that it's not going to happen. I mean, performing a miracle against gods, I don't think that works out. You have them on your side.
I can see it.
Yeah. I'm a deeply religious man, obviously.
I never knew, Hex. I never knew.
I don't like to tout my faith. I mean, you've seen my Shrine Tech Cthulhu.
I thought you lost your faith when you got hit by a scatter arrow the other day.
Oh, God. It's enough to bring a man to the brink of a faith crisis, I tell you. But then, yeah, I regained it when I shot one into a room and it killed 3 people somehow. So
I gotta say, by the way, I really dislike whoever it is that is running that frontline opening there, or the frontline base, because it reminds me of me. They still have their Christmas lights out, Hex. Why? Why do you do this?
You are a profoundly lazy man, except when it comes to casting. It's literally the only thing you put any energy into.
I mean, you just gotta save it for the good parts.
Yeah, I suppose. All right, so Hollywood Hammers unable to finish out Temple of Anubis. They did get a couple ticks though, so progress was made on the final point. Means Cloud9 gonna have a win condition in front of them, which is finish Temple of Anubis.
And that is something that they're very much adept at doing. So, I mean, it puts a lot of pressure on Hammers here. And I got to say, Hex, do you like what we're seeing here? Because I'm not necessarily sold.
I mean, Nesh played well enough on the Widow that I'm willing to buy it for a second. I mean, then I think you run the Sombra here with the notion that it probably won't work on first, but then you'll have EMP up for the next push. Because the last thing you want to do is get steamrolled, right?
What I take issue with here, and I agree, you don't want to get steamrolled, but I think if you run Widow Sombra, you're increasing that odds because neither Sombra nor Widow can take straight up fights. And you're already down extra support to help your tanks take those fights.
Yeah.
So what's going to stop C9 from just walking onto the point in their best SM or compression here?
I suppose, I think maybe they might be expecting a pharmacy. You've seen that roll out? I don't know. The Widow's confusing, but if you're Hammers, it is time to try something different. I would like to see them try something different on their offensive pushes last round, but that didn't happen either. So I don't dislike it because I think Nesh is a good Widow.
I mean, it means that Nesh has to get a pick off here before C9 gets to the point.
Yeah.
And unfortunately for him, C9 is getting right onto the point. He has Surefour in his face, and Surefour gets his man. And by the way, we do have an interesting swap here. It's Surefour on the Tracer and Gods and Genji.
Yeah. It's a luxury that they can afford. Perhaps it's even just map preference. You don't really lose much when either goes to the other. That's how much respect I have for Gods. Everyone knows how good Surefour is. He's been good since the very first day of closed beta. Adam's been with them since the very first day of closed beta, and he'll come right in and help out as well, showing up in the kill feed. A complete roll, stomp, whatever you want to call it, from Cloud9 as they take first points. And another interesting switch. Nesh is on Roadhog. I just trying whatever now, I guess.
He did play a little bit of Roadhog here and there, not so much with complexity because, of course, that was Harbloo's jam back then, but he can play a good Roadhog. The problem here is that C9 has so much momentum, they're going to be washing over here. It's going to be up to Shaz to land an EMP and for the rest of Hammers to capitalize on it sooner rather than later. Rolf, lucky to get away there as C9 starting to get tripped up a little bit. It's a good pulse bomb by Fisher, and C9 doesn't quite get the engage they might have been looking for here early on.
Yeah, I think they were trying to bait out the EMP. If you saw, they were all spread out and kind of dancing like, hey, we're coming in, you better, we're gonna come, we're serious this time, we're coming in, you better EMP. Did not fall for it as Shaz, so that very first push stopped, but Cloud9 has been banking some ultimates up. They're about to have all 6.
Normally this would be amazing, except for the part where EMP is on the menu here. So EMP is the one ultimate in the game that can make 5 ultimates look bad. Still pretty good here from C9. And they lose Rolf early on because, of course, EMP does that.
Like I said, why even bother with the extra 50? Just make him disappear.
Just make him disappear.
Yeah, Zenyatta's never lived through EMPs. It just doesn't happen.
How many people have you made disappear, Hex?
Enough that I don't want to talk about it on stream.
I'm a little bit scared, but the thing is for C9 is that now they know the EMP isn't up, or at least they have a good idea that it's not. Sometimes Sombra surprise us.
Yeah.
So I would expect them to go just all in on this push, use the window that there's no EMP, fight the other ultimates up straight up here because you have more on deck, and I don't think C9's going to wait too much longer here.
No, because EMP might be up, but you know this is your window where you just saw it. It's the best odds of it not being over here. Alts will come in, Transcend starts it off. Gods has the blade out, does find a Lucio in the back line.
I mean, for Hollywood, that could have been a lot worse. Gods could have died through it. That is the much worse. Why die to blades when you could die to bombs, or in this case, the Diva bomb? A much better opening here from C9, and now Hammers under all sorts of pressure as they must prevent C9 from capping this, or that's going to be it.
It's already there. Oh my god, barely the contest. They don't have to get the full cap here. A yellow marker is all they have to get it to, but they are bleeding out right now, trying to desperately find a tourniquet. They will start with the sound barrier. Whole hog comes out as well.
This is pure desperation skittish at this point, and C9 is cleaning them up. Kill after kill going C9's way. They're on the doors on both ends. They are stopping Hammers on every level, and Hammers has no margin to give, so even a single moment being off the point will be it. And that is it, as C9 takes their third map of the series against the Hollywood Hammers.
The word methodical comes to mind when calling Cloud9, and I think they showed us a little bit of the answer of how you deal with the defensive Sombra there. You go in and you make them use it, and then you just hope that she doesn't have it for the next time. That's really all you can do against defensive Sombra. Like, there is a possibility, and sometimes a high possibility, that the Sombra will have it every single fight. But your best bet is to go right after you saw it. They banked every ult through all 6 at it. It's the kind of play we've seen on Cloud9 all day.
But one thing I want to say is that it was good self-control from C9 because there are plenty of teams, especially in the West, that would have went, oh, we have 5 ults, just go.
Right.
And they wouldn't have respected the fact that, wait, Sombra could have ult here to deal with this. So C9, if anything comes to mind here, and it's in stark contrast to some of the other teams we've seen, is that they are patient, they are methodical.